Okay, welcome back to the podcast.
Hi.
We're gonna start off with a question, and that is our least favorite Thanksgiving food. What is?
I think I'm gonna be a hater. I don't like turkey that much.
Just kidding, me too.
Just
Like that dark turkey, icks me out a little bit. I just want the part that I know about, like
Yeah.
the white part.
Yeah,
That's what I've seen.
you know, it's-
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about the stuff in the very crevices.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I hate Brussels sprouts, and my mom
I
cooks
love
it every
Brussels
year.
sprouts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've ever had Brussels sprouts, but I don't think that vegetables are a huge thing in our family. I just don't. I think that we're more of a little Debbie kind of family.
I agree with Emily. I don't like turkey, but I don't like chicken either, so I feel
Oh,
like it's
that's
kind of
right.
the same.
So what meat do you eat on
I like ham.
Oh my god.
I like ham, but sometimes.
Oh,
I like
ham
the
is, like,
parts that
the
I
best
know
thing
about
ever.
ham.
Adalee's
The
kind of
fatty
like a vegan.
A little bit, but
She hates
they don't
chicken.
like it. I love hamburgers though, so.
Okay. I have a thing against stuffing.
Oh.
I feel like it's
'Cause it's
soggy
soggy.
bread.
kinds.
Like
I like it if
It's
not
not
soggy.
just soggy
I
bread.
agree. And maybe it's just because I've never had. I've had like good stuffing before, but it's not like my first choice on my plate.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's just a personal preference. Ours about it. If I'm hurting anyone to
That's alright. Okay. So this week we are going to talk about Joseph. Which Joseph? Oh yes, Prince of Egypt Joseph. So if you've seen the movie, you're ready. Okay.
You're well prepared for this.
Okay, so I'm just gonna give a rundown. Should I talk about everything in his life, or do you?
The main parts that
The
we're
important
talking
things that you want to
Yeah.
talk about, yeah.
Okay, so basically, Joseph was the second youngest out of 12 brothers. And he was highly favored by his father, so he's like the favorite child, and his brothers did not like that very much, so they decided to sell him into Egypt. So Joseph just is this slave in Egypt, and he works his way up to become ruler of Potiphar's house, and Potiphar was just a captain of Pharaoh's guard. So life is good for him, and then Pharaoh's wife tries to seduce him, and he says no, but she doesn't like that, so then she turns it around and says Joseph tried to seduce her, so he gets sent to prison for that. And he works his way up, and he becomes like head prisoner. And then he interprets Pharaoh's dream, and Pharaoh takes off his ring and puts on Joseph's hand, and he just says, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And that's how he becomes Egypt. And then,
So foolish.
and then back at home, there's this famine going on, so his brothers come to Egypt to get food, and they don't recognize Joseph, but Joseph recognizes them, so he invites them to dinner, and then they recognize him, and they ask for forgiveness, and so his brothers recognize him, and they just ask for forgiveness, and basically, in Genesis chapter 45, verses 5 through 8, I'll just read that really fast. Joseph just says, Now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves that ye sold me hither, for God did send me before you to preserve your life. So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God, and he hath made me a father to Pharaoh, and lord of all his house, and ruler throughout the land of Egypt. And so the question I want to ask you guys is, how did Joseph stay close to God through his trials, and how can we find God even when life gets hard?
I have a lot. I really think that it goes super into, especially that verse, about his true identity. And he understands and is almost grateful for the experience that he has, even though it's a trial. I think that especially, I like the part when he talks about how he's, became prisoner to Pharaoh after having been one of Pharaoh's most trusted, Potiphar's trusted, people. And he still believed that he was a goodly person and well favored. And the Lord had showed him mercy and gave favor in the sight of the keeper in the prison. I think that, especially in this time and season, if we're talking about Thanksgiving, Joseph is able to recognize and be grateful for the experiences and the trials that he has. And I know that's really hard, especially to be in a trial or to be having a hard time with a companion, having a hard time with like your faith and wanting to trust. But the end is so beautiful. And in one, Joseph saves an entire nation. But I think that we can even just be grateful that we like save ourselves almost through the blood and sacrifice of Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. One thing is, I think that, like, in, Moroni in the Book of Mormon, it talks about how God has blessed you with special gifts. And I think that Joseph was blessed with special gifts that we see. One of the ones that I personally noticed was his gift of dreams. Because that's what got him favored among his father. That's what got him, brought back from jail. And I think that one of the things that kept him so close to God is that he was able to just exercise that gift. Even though it did feel like things were going poorly for him because of that, he still was able to be close to God because he was using the gift from God.
True.
Isn't it funny how a man who dreamed about the future, his life was filled with uncertainty and like so many challenges. Like, isn't that so funny how God gives you a gift and sometimes it can seem like a curse or seem like nothing is working out in your life. And I just want to talk about the song Better Than I from Joseph, King of Dreams. And if you haven't watched that, you better, because it's like my childhood and it's so good, actually.
You can honestly just listen to the song.
Yeah, just listen to the song. It is so
It's
good.
so powerful.
It is. And I just want to talk about one line. And I thought it just like encapsulates what's his name, Joseph's story and basically the human in us. I saw one cloud and thought it was the sky. I saw a bird and I thought I could follow, but it was you who taught that bird to fly. So it's kind of like how we can be blinded by the worldly things, but we're really like the beautiful things in life come from God, and like you come from God, so you should learn how to follow God instead of the worldly things.
Yeah, and that's gotta be hard. Like, like when he said no to Potiphar's wife, like he was doing the right thing, but he still got sent to prison for it. So I just think it's really cool that he was able to still trust God and find him in that circumstance when probably he felt like maybe God forgot about him.
Yeah, I agree. There's a scripture in 3rd Nephi 12, verse 10. I think it's off of the Beatitudes in Matthew. And it says, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for my name's sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are ye of men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. For ye shall have great joy, and be exceedingly glad, for great shall be your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets who are before you." I think that encapsulates it so perfectly how, yes, we may be living in a world of sin, but we can choose to be different, and yes, that comes with its own consequences, but how great are the rewards if we were to think about it in more of like a heavenly perspective.
Yeah, and adding on to that, like, I just thought it was cool because, throughout all the scriptures, it just, like, says, but the Lord was with Joseph and stuff.
Yes,
I love that so
Okay, I
much.
love
And
how
it's
we
like,
pointed that out. No, like how I saw the same thing.
well, and it's just like, and the keeper of the prison, like, found favor in Joseph. So I think it's like, maybe they don't recognize that they see God in Joseph, but like, Joseph was able to stand out and be an example of a believer, and I think they recognize that good in him, whether they knew it was from God or not. They just knew that Joseph was different.
But it was in Genesis 41, I think it was verses 38 through 41, there Pharaoh, I think he noticed that God was the only one who could save them in this what's it called? Famine, yes. And I think on that part, on Pharaoh's part, that's like faith because he believed in so many other gods. And for this man to interpret a dream and to be like, this is what will happen, it takes faith to believe in that. It takes faith to, I mean, it was his kingdom online, so he had no one else. No one else.
I think that's beautiful. Especially because if you're putting your divine identity into God, how great is seeing what can come from that.
Right. Like it shows how
all the glory.
Yeah, it shows how, I don't know, people see God in us, and I think that's another way to minister.
Yeah.
Another way to be a missionary.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like how you can be a missionary in everyday aspects.
because I'm attracted to people who have light, and I want people like not like
Basically.
but, like,
Also just
but
regular.
just drawn
yeah.
to people.
yeah, drawn to people who have a light
I
because I
agree.
want to learn from them. I want to
You
have
want to
that
be
light.
around them.
Yeah.
That's why I love this friendship between the four of us so
Aw.
much, because the impact that it has had to see, I don't know, just the change in all of our lives, even if it doesn't seem very significant, is entirely, I think that's, I don't know, it's crazy to me how someone, not necessarily that we all started off as these horrible humans, but able to just see, like, the growth that comes from becoming better and all choosing to become better through Christ. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just love the friendship that can grow based off of, like, center point.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think I definitely noticed a difference because I've only been doing this podcast for like, this is my third time, right? But like, even just within these 3 weeks, I just felt a huge difference. Like, I felt so much closer to you guys and so much closer to God, and I just I feel like Christ can strengthen our relationships when He is our focus. So.
Yes,
That's
good.
so good.
Yes, go ahead, sorry.
I kind of wanted to shift the topic if you're okay with that, Naybi.
Mhm.
Okay. I want to go back to the moment of Potiphar's wife and the whole, she was trying to, like, get into Joseph, like, just trying to be, like, cheat on Potiphar with Joseph. And Joseph, even though it was a moment of, like, worldly desire, he still said no. And I think it's because he had made that decision before the trial. And I really like that. And I think that that's like a huge example as to what we should do, because we can't expect ourselves to have the right decision to be made. Make the
in the
right decision
moment.
in the moment. We
Mhm.
have to make that decision now.
Mhm.
So you're at a party and someone offers you a mysterious drink. Like, listen to your parents'
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
counsel. And I think that, like, God is our parent. Heavenly Father is our Father. And so we have to listen to his counsel and just, like, keep that in our mind and make that decision before.
True. I have a funny story. So my mom is she's like a superhero parent, and she had this thing where she didn't want any of us to have sex before we were married. She made that very apparent. And so before, I believe it was a few years ago, my mom decided to take us after a dentist appointment over to the best ice cream place in the entire world. And she said that she would only give it to us, not because she wasn't necessarily condemning the sin, but it was to teach us that we needed to, sorry, I guess I should give more emphasis. She gave us ice cream, and she told us that as part of the ice cream, she wanted us to promise that we wouldn't be, committing that sin before marriage. Now, she's not saying that in a way that she wouldn't be the most loving mother in the entire world if that were to happen, but it was the choice that we all chose to make along with the best ice cream in the world. It's called Cannery. It's in, shoot, I don't know where it is. It's in the Ogden area. I know. Well, then you're gonna commit.
I will.
All of us there will
Yes.
do a pledge.
And I think that that was perfect, because every single time I pass that ice cream place after my dentist appointment, it reminds me so much of almost the covenant-like promise that I made with my mom, that I wouldn't commit that choice.
Yeah.
I think that's time up though, right? Yeah. Unless we have some more thoughts.
I mean, I have so many thoughts every time.
I do too, but I just don't want it to be long.
Just trust that God has a bigger plan for you, right?
Yeah.
Like, Joseph probably never thought he'd become the Prince of Egypt when he was living at home, and then because of all his trials, he got to where he was. So,
You know the
perspective.
yep.
You know the shirt that says "Fear God over."
Oh,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
God over.
God over
Fear?
God over your highs and lows. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, something like that. Sorry, yeah, that's it. Anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Bye.
bye.